Want to speak real Vietnamese from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at VietnamesePod101.com. Want to speak real Vietnamese from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at VietnamesePod101.com.
For some, learning a new language seems to come naturally. For others, the entire process feels more like a tooth and nail struggle. However, if you've had a negative experience learning a new language at one point in time, don't let that discourage you from trying again. The truth is that learning any language is never easy, but it's definitely possible. Sometimes the difference between success and failure has less to do with your abilities or talents and a lot more to do with the way you look at things. In this video, we're going to look at how to avoid 5 serious mistakes made by new language learners. Number 1, listen before you speak. Being slow to speak and quick to listen is good life advice, whether or not you're learning a foreign language. Effective listening is essential to communication. As a beginner, there is a tendency to concentrate so much on what you're going to say and how you're going to say it that you can completely miss the meaning or heart of what the other person is trying to communicate. Not only will this impair your ability to listen in your target language, it will also stall what little conversation you had going. Remember that conversations are a two-way street. If you're speaking more than listening, then you actually have more of a monologue on your hands than a dialogue. The inputs of language learning, listening and reading, are just as important as the outputs, speaking and writing. For a beginner, inputs are even more crucial, as they are the main way you acquire new vocabulary. We even go so far to say that for new students, the best method for learning involves more listening than it does speaking, though that may change with higher proficiency levels. Number 2, don't be embarrassed when you do speak. People's next mistake usually comes from the other side of the spectrum, where new learners are too scared or embarrassed to contribute to a conversation. The fear of making mistakes and embarrassing yourself can paralyze your language learning. It's vital to remember that everyone makes mistakes. Even native speakers had to find their way through the language when they were children. Making mistakes while learning a new language is inevitable, but it's also a good thing. The faster you make mistakes, the quicker you can correct them and move on with your learning. So instead of being afraid to make mistakes, try looking at them as steps towards progress. In reality, that's what they really are. Number 3, don't fixate on minor issues. If taken in all at once, a new language can feel overwhelming to learn. It's so easy to get discouraged by all your little mistakes and conversational mishaps, and you lose sight of the progress you're making. In addition to mistakes, you'll also come across plateaus, where you study and practice consistently but don't see any results for a significant amount of time. But whether you face errors or plateaus, remember that these things are minor obstacles on the road to fluency. The most important thing is not to give up. Stick with it. If you stay persistent, your mistakes will be corrected and your abilities will improve. But if you slow down or throw in the towel completely, then you'll either subvert your progress or nix it altogether. So remember that as long as you're still studying and learning the language, you can't lose. It might feel like you're losing the battle for language learning for a little while, but hang in there. A practical way to help you stay motivated is to make small weekly goals. Research shows that goal setting has a significant impact on learning. Try picking one aspect of grammar or a collection of new words or phrases to study for the next 7 days. At the end of the week, check your progress and measure your success. Setting little benchmarks like this will give you a rightful sense of accomplishment. Number 4, remember that immersion isn't magical. A lot of people think that by moving to a foreign country, they will learn the language by osmosis. But whether you learn abroad or at home, you still need to study and practice the language. Living in a new country gives you way more opportunities to do this than staying at home. But if you don't consciously take advantage of these opportunities while living abroad, it won't benefit your language learning. If you're an expat living in a foreign country, there's a natural inclination to hang out around other expats. Learning a language and living in a foreign culture is hard and uncomfortable. For better or worse, we're often drawn to the easier road. If you made the decision to study abroad, then you want to hang out with native-speaking people as much as possible. You have the rest of your life to be with people who speak your language. This doesn't mean ignore your expat friends. Just be sure that you're giving proper attention to your language learning. Languages are better lived than they are learned. Number 5, be open-minded. Languages are better lived than they are learned. When learning a new language, your brain will want to conform the new grammar and vocabulary to your native language norms and grammar rules. Ignore your brain on this one. At first, you might feel completely wrong saying a sentence that is in fact correct. After a certain point in language learning, there is a switch that goes off, when your brain finally realizes that you're not speaking your native language, but a new one altogether. This could take a while though, especially if this is your first time learning a new language. Until then, do what you know is correct, even if it feels a bit weird when you say it. The same goes for culture. Just as you want to be open to the differences in the language, don't forget to be open to the differences in the culture too. Hopefully this video helped you shift your thinking and approach language learning in a way that will help you become fluent faster. And that you'll learn to enjoy the journey towards fluency and savor the language for its own sake. That's probably the biggest language learning secret there is. And for even more ways to get started learning a new language, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! So, you decided to learn a new language. At first, the idea seemed exciting. You bought a phrase book, dictionary, and a subscription to an online class, ready to dive headfirst into the language. For the first day or two, all was well. You gained ground quickly, learning a few basic phrases and words. A week before, learning that language was just a dream, but now you're actually doing it. Then, the third and fourth day roll around. The excitement is wearing off. You encouraged yourself to continue, and another week or two goes by, but with a lot less progress. Suddenly, learning a new language doesn't fill you with excitement anymore. Now it feels more like dread. Sometimes it feels like you're drowning in grammatical cases, verb conjugations, and wonky pronunciation. It all seems too much to handle, so you start to think about giving up. But we encourage you not to give up. Learning a foreign language is difficult. We won't pretend like it isn't. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. Sometimes you just need to take a step back, reevaluate your approach, and come back to the language with a different perspective. In this video, we'll look at 4 tips for when learning a new language feels overwhelming. Number 1, set aside a designated study time. Consistency is key when learning a foreign language. Studying 15 minutes 7 days a week will benefit you more than cramming in 2 hours 1 day a week. Set aside an amount of time that works best for you. If you can afford to spend an hour every day learning, that's awesome. Go for it. But don't feel bad if you can't spend that much time. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day goes a long way. Breaking up your learning into manageable time segments will relieve a lot of the stress that can come with studying a new language. Learning is not a race. Go at your own pace and try not to compare your progress with anyone else's. Number 2, take it one bite at a time. Now that you have your schedule under control, it's time to focus on what you'll actually be studying. It's recommended that every 1 to 2 weeks you focus on learning a very specific piece of the language. It could be a conjugation group, a case, tense, or a collection of theme vocabulary. Whatever you choose, hone in on it and do your best to feel comfortable with it before you move on to something else. Ever heard the saying, "How do you eat an elephant?" Focusing on one thing at a time helps you break the language into digestible chunks. Number 3, expose yourself to the language in different ways. Don't just sit around reading about grammar all day. Obviously, knowledge of grammar is important, but you want to spice up your practice as much as possible. In addition to grammatical study, try to mix in a combination of reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Try to practice reading by either translating a simple article into your native language, or maybe if you're a beginner, pick up a children's book in your target language. For writing, you can try to write out a fictional conversation between you and yourself even. Use the phrases you know to create a mock conversation, and don't use any words you can't think of or you don't remember. To practice speaking, you can find native speakers locally at a language club or at a meetup. You can also find them online in a language exchange. For listening, a great podcast should do the trick. Spread out each type of practice, listening, reading, speaking, and writing, across your regular language study schedule. This will give you a balanced experience in the language and should help keep things interesting. This method also works well when you use it to focus on a single aspect of the language like we talked about above. Number 4, set mini goals, not just big ones. If your only language learning goal is to be fluent, you're likely setting yourself up for disappointment. While speaking fluently can be your ultimate goal, it shouldn't be your only one. Try to set mini goals month by month and week by week. It could be something simple. Learn 20 new verbs, practice a new case, or speak with 3 native speakers. As long as it's specific and reasonable to achieve in a shorter amount of time, it should work fine. Not having mini goals alongside your ultimate goal is a lot like sprinting across a huge open field. There's no reference point, so for much of the time it feels like you're not any closer to your goal. It's not that you're not moving forward, it just feels like you're not. Without any trees or buildings to run past, it seems like you're running in place. Mini goals are like the trees and buildings of your language race. They help you see that you're moving forward and give you a sense of accomplishment. The desire for perfection can get in the way of your progress. Don't freak out when you struggle to speak or make a mistake. It's all a part of the learning process. Also, don't be afraid to speak, even if you know what you'll say won't be totally correct. It's better to do your best to communicate in the language and get it wrong than to never try at all. Learning a new language isn't always easy. In fact, oftentimes it's very hard. Don't let that discourage you, though. Use these tips to help keep you focused yet unstressed in your language learning. A little perseverance will go a long way. Before long, you'll be speaking better than you may have thought was possible. And for even more help learning a new language without getting overwhelmed, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done, though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Xin chào các bạn, Linh đã quay trở lại đây. Hello everyone, Linh is back. So if you have been studying Vietnamese for a while, I guess that you really want to say something or you want to learn something to amaze native speakers, right? And that's why I made this video today for you to show you how or some ways to impress Vietnamese people. And then today, let's get started with our video. 10 phrases to amaze native speakers.
Cảm ơn bạn nhưng thực ra tôi không phải là một người bản ngữ. Cảm ơn bạn nhưng thực ra tôi không phải là một người bản ngữ. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually.
Okay, let's start with this one. Cảm ơn bạn nhưng thực ra tôi không phải là một người bản ngữ. Cảm ơn bạn nhưng thực ra tôi không phải là một người bản ngữ. Got it? Okay, so cảm ơn bạn is thank you. Nhưng is but or however. And thực ra is actually. And không phải là một người bản ngữ. So here we have native speakers is người bản ngữ or local people. So in the sentence we can say cảm ơn bạn nhưng thực ra tôi không phải là một người bản ngữ. So, wow, this is really impressive. But actually, if you look like foreigners, of course we know that you're not the native speakers. But nice try, because once you say this one, we get that you really try or you've been studying really hard Vietnamese, and then you can say this one. So, cảm ơn bạn nhưng thực ra tôi không phải là một người bản ngữ. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually.
Tôi chỉ mất 1 năm để trở nên thành thạo. Tôi chỉ mất 1 năm để trở nên thành thạo. It took me only 1 year to become fluent.
Tôi chỉ mất 1 năm để trở nên thành thạo. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. Okay, so try to slow down. Tôi chỉ mất 1 năm để trở nên thành thạo. Tôi chỉ mất 1 năm để trở nên thành thạo. You got it? Tôi chỉ mất 1 năm để trở nên thành thạo. Okay, so tôi is me and 1 năm is 1 year. So basically, if you want to say how many years, you can just put the number before the word năm. For example, 1 năm is 1 year. 2 năm is 2 years. And 3 năm is 3 years. So in Vietnamese, we don't have singular or plural words. So you can just say the noun only, then it's fine. And fluent is thành thạo. So in the sentence, tôi chỉ mất 1 năm để trở nên thành thạo. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. Yeah, okay, this one is really impressive because normally foreigners, they have to spend around 5 years or more or less something like that, studying Vietnamese and also living or working here in Vietnam to be fluent. But if it took you only 1 year to become fluent, I have to say that it's really impressive.
Tôi sẽ nói tiếng Việt như người bản địa trong 3 năm tới. Tôi sẽ nói tiếng Việt như người bản địa trong 3 năm tới. I'll speak Vietnamese like a native speaker in 3 years.
Next one is tôi sẽ nói tiếng Việt như người bản địa trong 3 năm tới. I'll speak Vietnamese like a native speaker in 3 years. Tôi sẽ nói tiếng Việt như người bản địa trong 3 năm tới. Tôi sẽ nói tiếng Việt như người bản địa trong 3 năm tới. Easy, right? I guess that is easy for you because you've been trying so hard to study Vietnamese. Okay, so 3 năm is 3 years. As I mentioned a while ago, 1 year is 1 năm, 2 years is 2 năm, and 3 years is 3 năm. So no singular or no plural, just năm, then it's fine for every year or for how many years is up to you. So tôi sẽ nói tiếng Việt như người bản địa trong 3 năm tới. Yeah, I guess that normally it takes around 5 years more or less to become a native speaker. But especially you have to live there and experience the local life as local people. But only 3 years, yeah, it's really fast and you will amaze native speaker for sure.
Tôi đã học tiếng Việt 10 năm rồi. Tôi đã học tiếng Việt 10 năm rồi. I've been learning Vietnamese for 10 years.
Tôi đã học tiếng Việt 10 năm rồi. I've been learning Vietnamese for 10 years. Tôi đã học tiếng Việt 10 năm rồi. Tôi đã học tiếng Việt 10 năm rồi. Okay, so if you want to speak as a native speaker, then you're supposed to say quickly. Tôi đã học tiếng Việt 10 năm rồi. Okay, so here we have tôi is I and đã is something happened in the past. So in Vietnamese we don't have so many past tenses as English, but only one word đã you put before the verb, then is going to represent for every past tenses. For example, đã học is I have learned, or I have been learning, or I learned. Or đã ăn is I ate, or I have eaten. So remember, just only one word đã before the verb, then is going to be the past. So here we have tôi đã học tiếng Việt 10 năm rồi. Of course, tiếng Việt is Vietnamese language. Vietnamese, tiếng Việt. So tôi đã học tiếng Việt 10 năm rồi. That means you've been studying Vietnamese, and also you've been living in Vietnam for quite long. And I have to say that if you study Vietnamese for that long, then you're supposed to be a really Vietnamese linguistic.
Tôi có thể xem phim Việt Nam mà không cần phụ đề. Tôi có thể xem phim Việt Nam mà không cần phụ đề. I can watch Vietnamese movies without subtitles.
Tôi có thể xem phim Việt Nam mà không cần phụ đề. I can watch Vietnamese movie without subtitles. Tôi có thể xem phim Việt Nam mà không cần phụ đề. Tôi có thể xem phim Việt Nam mà không cần phụ đề. Okay, so here we have phim Việt Nam is Vietnamese movie. In Vietnamese, we don't use Vietnamese for the adjective when talking about something belongs to Vietnam. But phim Việt Nam is different. You have to use phim as movie, and Vietnam is Vietnamese. So phim Việt Nam, Vietnamese movie. Okay, and without is không. So basically, không is no, but it also can use for without. Phụ đề is subtitles, of course. So tôi có thể xem phim Việt Nam mà không cần phụ đề. It's like I can watch Vietnamese movie without or no need subtitles, because cần is need. So mà không cần is without. Okay, so seriously, if you watch movie, Vietnamese movie with Vietnamese subtitles, and you understand, it's really impressive, of course. But if you watch Vietnamese movie without subtitles, I have to say that you really speak Vietnamese like a native speaker. Then it's really amazing.
Tôi có thể nhắn tin bằng tiếng Việt có dấu. Tôi có thể nhắn tin bằng tiếng Việt có dấu. I can send text message in Vietnamese with the tone marks.
Tôi có thể nhắn tin bằng tiếng Việt có dấu. I can send text message in Vietnamese with the tone marks. Tôi có thể nhắn tin bằng tiếng Việt có dấu. Tôi có thể nhắn tin bằng tiếng Việt có dấu. Okay, so here nhắn tin is texting. Nhắn tin. Tiếng Việt is of course Vietnamese and có dấu. Dấu here is the tone mark, the one that we have in Vietnamese. That also decides the accent of Vietnamese is really strong sometimes. And I have questioned my foreigner friend that how does Vietnamese sound like when we speak Vietnamese to each other? We Vietnamese speaking Vietnamese to each other, and he said that it sounds like you guys are fighting, or it's up down like this, and it's really funny because I have no idea how Vietnamese sounds like when we speak Vietnamese because we get used to it. But if you say that tôi có thể nhắn tin bằng tiếng Việt có dấu, so that means you can not only speak Vietnamese but also you can write really well, because the tone mark, I have to say that it's not easy to see the difference. Of course it's really different, but for foreigner it's not easy at all. So tôi có thể nhắn tin bằng tiếng Việt có dấu. Impressing.
Tiếng Việt rất thú vị và dễ học. Tiếng Việt rất thú vị và dễ học. Vietnamese is fun and easy to learn.
Tiếng Việt rất thú vị và dễ học. Vietnamese is fun and easy to learn. Tiếng Việt rất thú vị và dễ học. You got it? So tiếng Việt is Vietnamese, and actually here sometimes in Vietnamese we don't use to be verb like something Vietnamese is, or Vietnamese is something, but we can just use the word rất. Rất is very or really. So this one is going to represent for the to be verb, then you can just use the verb, use the word rất, then it's fine. So tiếng Việt rất thú vị và dễ học. Thú vị is fun or exciting, and dễ học is easy to learn. Dễ is easy, học is learn. So here we don't have to use preposition as to, but only dễ học, then it's fine. It's like learning easily, something like that. So tiếng Việt rất thú vị và dễ học. Okay, so if you see Vietnamese is fun, I agree, because sometimes in Vietnamese we don't have any rule, or we don't have any specific way to express one opinion or one idea, but sometimes we use so many ways. Especially, it really depends on your flexibility or your knowledge about Vietnamese, or your personality also. So if you want to say that Vietnamese is fun, I guess that it's really fun sometimes, and I have to say that it's really challenging. But if you say that it's easy, I don't think so. But because you say Vietnamese is fun and easy, tiếng Việt rất vui và dễ học, then I have to say that you're really good on it.
Ngoài biết tiếng Việt, tôi cũng có thể nói một số ngôn ngữ khác nữa. Ngoài biết tiếng Việt, tôi cũng có thể nói một số ngôn ngữ khác nữa. Apart from knowing Vietnamese, I can speak a few other languages as well.
Ngoài biết tiếng Việt, tôi cũng có thể nói một số ngôn ngữ khác nữa. Apart from knowing Vietnamese, I can speak a few other languages as well. Ngoài biết tiếng Việt, tôi cũng có thể nói một số ngôn ngữ khác nữa. Okay, so here we have ngoài is a side of or a part of. Biết tiếng Việt is knowing Vietnamese. Tiếng Việt is Vietnamese, and cũng is as well, or to, or also. So you can use cũng for all of them. Tôi cũng có thể, I also can, or I can as well. Okay. nói một số ngôn ngữ khác nữa. Here we have một số ngôn ngữ khác nữa. Một số ngôn ngữ khác, some other languages or some different languages. Okay, so this one I have to say that really impressive because not only Vietnamese but also you can speak other languages. But yeah, I've heard that some people, they really enjoy studying languages, and once they already can speak one language or two languages, then they will know about the rule or the grammar, the common things in grammar or the common rules between languages. So I have to say that if you can speak also other languages, then I think you're really talented, not only in Vietnamese but in language. So you absolutely can be a linguistic. Ngoài biết tiếng Việt, tôi cũng có thể nói một số ngôn ngữ khác nữa.
Tôi đang tự học tiếng Việt. Tôi đang tự học tiếng Việt. I'm learning Vietnamese all by myself.
Tôi đang tự học tiếng Việt. I'm learning Vietnamese all by myself. Tôi đang tự học tiếng Việt. Tôi đang tự học tiếng Việt. So here you will see the word đang, okay? So đang is representing for the present continuous. So for example, the word đã is representing for the past, but đang is representing for present continuous. So you can just put the word đang before the verb, then it's okay. You don't have to conjugate the verb anymore. Okay, so tôi đang tự học tiếng Việt. Of course, Vietnamese is tiếng Việt, and tự học is self-study or learning by yourself. Okay, so this one is really impressive because I have to say that it's really hard to find the resource or the document to study Vietnamese online. So if you say that you can study by yourself without any other support or any help, that is really talented, and you are not only good in language but also in analyzing, because Vietnamese grammar is very difficult. Tôi đang tự học tiếng Việt.
Tôi hoàn toàn hiểu rõ tất cả mọi thứ bạn nói. Tôi hoàn toàn hiểu rõ tất cả mọi thứ bạn nói. I completely understood everything you said.
Tôi hoàn toàn hiểu rõ tất cả mọi thứ bạn nói. I completely understand everything you said. Tôi hoàn toàn hiểu rõ tất cả mọi thứ bạn nói. Tôi hoàn toàn hiểu rõ tất cả mọi thứ bạn nói. Okay, so hoàn toàn here is completely or absolutely. Hoàn toàn, and hiểu is understand, or hiểu rõ is understand clearly. Rõ here is clearly, and tất cả mọi thứ is everything, or you can just use tất cả or mọi thứ, then it's fine. But if you say tất cả mọi thứ, then it's going to be really strong, much stronger than only tất cả. So bạn nói is what you said. Okay, so I completely understood everything you said. Tôi hoàn toàn hiểu tất cả mọi thứ bạn nói. Okay, it's done, I guess, and 10 phrases to amaze native speakers, 10 phrases to amaze Vietnamese people. So I have to say that if you can speak all of this, is really talented. Not only you're good in Vietnamese, but also you're understand very well about our culture, our music, our tone work, which is not easy to foreigner at all. Here we have today this video 10 phrases to amaze native speakers, and thank you very much for watching the video. And if you have any questions or recommendations, or if you want to study or to learn anything else about Vietnamese, especially the language or the culture, just let me know in the comment below. Also, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe the channel, and visit the website VietnamesePod101.com to learn more Vietnamese with us. Thank you so much again, and see you next time. Hi YouTube, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching the videos and leaving the comments because it really helps me to improve my videos. So for today, actually I'm a foodie person. I'm not a fussy eater, but actually, do you know there's some kind of food that can kill you quickly? Let's see what we have to avoid. But of course, in Vietnamese, 10 foods that can kill you faster.
Thịt xông khói. Thịt xông khói. Bacon.
Thịt xông khói. Thịt xông khói. Thịt xông khói. Bacon. Okay, so here thịt is meat or pork in general, and xông khói means smoked. So thịt xông khói, bacon, and actually it's really delicious. It's good for bread, it's good for sandwich, it's good for hamburger, but it's not good at all because it has a lot of fat, the bad kind, so you shouldn't eat too much. So in sentence you can say, anh ấy rất thích ăn thịt xông khói. Anh ấy rất thích ăn thịt xông khói. He likes eating bacon a lot. Or something else, thịt xông khói rất ngon nhưng có nhiều chất béo. Thịt xông khói rất ngon nhưng có nhiều chất béo. Bacon is yummy, but it has a lot of fat. Thịt xông khói rất ngon nhưng có nhiều chất béo.
Nước uống tăng lực. Nước uống tăng lực. Energy drinks.
Nước uống tăng lực. Energy drinks. Nước uống tăng lực. Nước uống tăng lực. Okay, so energy drinks is how to say, it's good for you sometimes when you want to stay awake or if you need to stay awake for work. But actually it's not good for your health at all because it might cause you dependence or poor sleep, and because of that I try to reduce as much as possible. I only take very few if I need to. So in sentence you can say, nhiều người nghĩ nước uống tăng lực có lợi cho sức khỏe. Nhiều người nghĩ nước uống tăng lực có lợi cho sức khỏe. Many people think that energy drinks are good for one's health. Nhiều người nghĩ nước uống tăng lực có lợi cho sức khỏe, but actually it's not.
Thịt đã qua chế biến. Thịt đã qua chế biến. Processed meat.
Thịt đã qua chế biến. Processed meat. Thịt đã qua chế biến. Thịt đã qua chế biến. Okay, so processed meat contains various chemical compounds which are not really or naturally present in fresh meat, and some of them are harmful to your body. So because of that, if you keep eating it for a long time, it might increase the risk of chronic disease, especially cancer. So if you don't want cancer, just don't eat it. So in sentence, you can say if someone invites you to buy or to eat that, tôi không muốn ăn thịt đã qua chế biến. Tôi không muốn ăn thịt đã qua chế biến. I don't want to eat processed meat. Tôi không muốn ăn thịt đã qua chế biến. Okay?
Các bữa ăn đông lạnh. Các bữa ăn đông lạnh. Frozen meals.
Các bữa ăn đông lạnh. Frozen meals. Các bữa ăn đông lạnh. Các bữa ăn đông lạnh. Okay, so các bữa ăn đông lạnh or thực phẩm đông lạnh are frozen meals. So if you are watching sodium, you should especially carefully about frozen meals or frozen dinners because some of them are loaded with fat, calories or sodium. So in sentence, nhiều người thường mua bữa ăn đông lạnh vì họ quá bận. Nhiều người thường mua bữa ăn đông lạnh vì họ quá bận. Many people buy frozen meals because they are too busy. Nhiều người thường mua bữa ăn đông lạnh vì họ quá bận.
Khoai tây chiên giòn. Khoai tây chiên giòn. Potato chips.
Khoai tây chiên giòn. potato chips. Khoai tây chiên giòn. Khoai tây chiên giòn. Okay, I know this one. Everybody likes chips, but actually chips are typically high in fat and calories, which is, you know, already, right? So in sentence, you can say, trẻ em rất thích khoai tây chiên giòn. Kids like potato chips a lot. Trẻ em rất thích khoai tây chiên giòn. Trẻ em rất thích khoai tây chiên giòn.
Bơ thực vật. Bơ thực vật. Margarine.
Okay, bơ thực vật is margarine, but actually bơ is butter and thực vật is vegetable. You know that? So margarine is very high in bad fat and low in good fat, and also lacking in vitamin and minerals. So because of that, it's very affordable. Sometimes it's very cheap, and therefore many restaurants are using margarine to reduce their cost. So in Vietnamese, if you want to speak about this, you can say nhiều hàng ăn dùng bơ thực vật để giảm chi phí. Nhiều hàng ăn dùng bơ thực vật để giảm chi phí. Many restaurants use margarine to reduce cost. Nhiều hàng ăn dùng bơ thực vật để giảm chi phí.
Bỏng ngô vi sóng. Bỏng ngô vi sóng. Microwave popcorn.
Bỏng ngô vi sóng. Microwave popcorn. Bỏng ngô vi sóng. Bỏng ngô vi sóng. Okay, so bỏng ngô is popcorn and vi sóng is microwave. So bỏng ngô vi sóng, microwave popcorn. A study has found that an acid can be extracted from the chemical in the plastic bag of microwave popcorn, which causes cancer in animals and is likely cause cancer in humans too. However, people usually buy microwave popcorn for convenience. And if you want to say this one in Vietnamese, you can say mọi người thường mua bỏng ngô vi sóng cho tiện. Mọi người thường mua bỏng ngô vi sóng cho tiện. People usually buy microwave popcorn for convenience. Mọi người thường mua bỏng ngô vi sóng cho tiện.
Mì ăn liền. Mì ăn liền. Instant noodles.
Mì ăn liền. Instant noodles. Mì ăn liền. Mì ăn liền. Okay, so everybody said that instant noodle is not good for your body, your health, your skins, and it's very cheap, so it's not high quality. Okay, agree, but you know, spicy instant noodle with kimchi is amazing. I have to say that. So, but anyway, it's not good for your health. And in sentence, you can say, sinh viên thường ăn mì ăn liền để tiết kiệm tiền. College student often eat instant noodles to save money. Sinh viên thường ăn mì ăn liền để tiết kiệm tiền. Sinh viên thường ăn mì ăn liền để tiết kiệm tiền.
Kẹo. Kẹo. Candy.
Kẹo. Candy. Kẹo. Okay, so this word have the tone mark dấu nặng. Because of that, you have to pronounce very strong. Kẹo. Okay? Kẹo. So if you are eating candy every day, you may not eat enough of foods necessary for your good health. So because of that, you must say to yourself every day that ăn nhiều kẹo sẽ bị sâu răng. Eating too much candy can give you cavities. Ăn nhiều kẹo sẽ bị sâu răng. Ăn nhiều kẹo sẽ bị sâu răng. Okay, so remember.
Soda. Soda. Soda.
Soda. Soda. Soda. Because the O sound in Vietnamese is O, and A sound in Vietnamese is A. So soda. Is soda best for your health? My answer is sure. I think so, because some would say that anything in moderation is okay, but when it comes to soda, the amount of sugar and additives is so high that I don't think moderation even exists. So in sentence, you can say that trẻ con không nên uống quá nhiều soda. Kids shouldn't drink too much soda. Trẻ con không nên uống quá nhiều soda. Trẻ con không nên uống quá nhiều soda. Okay, that's all for today. 10 foods that can kill you faster. I love some of them, but actually I have no choice but sacrifice if I want to live longer or healthier, of course. And if you have any questions or recommendations, just let me know in the comment below, okay? Please also don't forget to like the video, subscribe the channel, and visit the website vietnamesepod101.com to learn more Vietnamese. Thank you so much for watching the video and see you next time. Xin chào các bạn, tôi là Linh, rất vui được gặp lại. Hello everyone, this is Linh and welcome back to Vietnamese Talk Words. Today our topic is going to be 10 hardest words to pronounce and let's go!
Đường. Sugar.
Đường. For example, cho tôi một ly cà phê không đường. Can I have a coffee without sugar, please? Also, đường means on my way or on the road. For example, tôi đang ở trên đường. I'm on my way. Ở trên đường. On the road or on my way. Tôi đang ở trên đường. Đường.
Giây. Second.
Giây, second. Giây. For example, chờ tôi mấy giây. Just a moment, please. Chờ tôi mấy giây. This sound is not like J or G sound in English, but it's similar with Z sound. Giây, Z. So you try and practice giây. And actually, there's another word pronounced similar like sợi dây, the rope. Sợi dây. So giây is second, and sợi dây is the rope.
Khách. Guest.
Khách is guest. For example, cô ấy là khách của tôi. She is my guest. So in Vietnamese, you can also use khách for a client, guest, or customers. They are all khách. For example, cô ấy là khách của tôi. She is my guest. Or ông ấy là khách hàng của tôi. He is my customer. Khách. Khách, you have to go up a little bit, just like up when you say up. So it's going to be up. Khách. Khách.
Kính. Eyeglasses.
Kính. Kính is sunglasses, and in Vietnamese the consonant K and C pronounce exactly the same. For example, kính cận. Kính cận is K and C but actually pronounced similar. You can use in sentence like tôi phải đeo kính cận từ nhỏ. I have to wear eyeglasses since I was very small. Tôi phải đeo kính cận từ nhỏ. Or tôi để quên kính ở nhà rồi. I forgot my eyeglasses at home. Tôi để quên kính cận ở nhà rồi. Kính. Kính cận.
Quyển sách. Book.
Quyển sách. Quyển sách is a book, and I know it's really hard for foreigners to practice this one because it's two sounds together and two really hard sounds actually. Quyển sách. But if you practice like the same accent or same tone, for example, the word quyển vở is a notebook. Quyển vở. And then you change to quyển sách, maybe it's gonna be better. Quyển sách, for example, đây là quyển sách của cô ấy. This is her book. Đây là quyển sách của cô ấy. This is her book. Or đây là quyển vở của cô ấy. This is her notebook. Đây là quyển vở của cô ấy. This is her notebook.
Thủy thủ. Sailor.
Thủy thủ is sailor. I know this one is really difficult for you to practice because these are two different words but same tone, right? So the key is you better bend your voice a little bit, just like quyển vở, just like the word quyển vở. Thủy thủ, for example, in sentence, tàu này có 10 thủy thủ. This boat has 10 sailors. Tàu này có 10 thủy thủ. Or tôi muốn trở thành thủy thủ. I want to be a sailor. Tôi muốn trở thành thủy thủ. So, thủy thủ. Same tone, don't forget.
Trâu. Buffalo.
Trâu. Trâu is buffalo. In sentence, ở nông thôn có rất nhiều trâu. There are many buffaloes in the countryside. Or something else.
Con trâu là biểu tượng của nông thôn Việt Nam. The buffalo is a symbol of Vietnamese rural. Đọc. To read. Đọc is to read. You remember this word had a similar rhyme with the word ngọc, jade, ngọc, and this one is đọc. So you have to pronounce very clear and very strong. Đọc. In sentence, I'd like to read a book in my leisure time. Tôi thích đọc sách vào thời gian rảnh. Different one. Chúng ta nên đọc sách mỗi tuần. We should read a book every week. Chúng ta nên đọc sách mỗi tuần. Kiến. And. Kiến is and. And the rhyme of the word kiến is made from the letters E, E, N. And when you go faster, it's going to be like this. E, N, E, N, E, N, Yên. Kiến. Kiến, that's how you practice. Kiến. For example, Kiến thích đồ ngọt. Ants like sweet stuff. Kiến thích đồ ngọt. So try Kiến. Nhanh. Fast. Nhanh is fast. For example, anh ấy chạy rất nhanh. He runs very fast. Or quá nhanh, quá nguy hiểm. Too fast, too furious. Quá nhanh, quá nguy hiểm. So, nhanh. Okay, that's all for today. 10 hardest words to pronounce, and maybe next time is going to be 10 easiest words to pronounce for you to practice more Vietnamese. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you have any question or recommendation for the next topic, please let me know in the comment below. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe the channel, and visit the website VietnamesePod101.com to learn more Vietnamese. I'm Linh, and thank you so much for watching the video, and see you soon.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.